Hello, everyone. Welcome into my office here at Bethany. Blessed to have you with me this week. As we get to Sunday this week, our gospel in Luke is Jesus telling a parable about a rich man who has a lot of land and has a much bigger harvest than he anticipates and decides he's going to store it up. He's just going to store it all, keep it all, build bigger barns, and just, he'll be set for years and years and years to come. And then the parable ends with Jesus saying, "But that very night, God comes to the man and says, 'You fool, I am calling for your life tonight.' Who is going to get all the things that you have stored up, all of your earthly treasure, if you will?" Of course, there's a couple points there. One being that we should definitely share our treasure with each other and not hoard it for ourselves. The other being that treasure in earthly means doesn't necessarily equate to treasure in heavenly means. In other words, we should be focused on our spirituality, our connection to God and to each other, more so than on the possessions that we keep within our homes. Two very interesting points to make there. So, what is it that we keep? What are the things that we tend to keep for ourselves and treasure at home? I have a few things in my office here, pictures. I've got a picture of me kissing the Stanley Cup in 2010 after the Hawks won the Stanley Cup the first time. I also have this little, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's, "Don't let anyone dull your sparkle." It was given to me by one of the girls from VBS a couple of weeks ago. I keep that here in my office as well. I love having that because it's just kind of that neat little message. Don't let anyone ever dull your sparkle. Don't let people get to you. It's kind of a cool thought. I have little things like that because actually, what I treasure in life probably the most are the connections I have with people, whether it be our family members, our extended family, whether it be my friends. I tend to value those relationships and the time we spend together the most of anything that I have in life. And yeah, I have some things at home that I keep that are my treasures, if you will, but certainly the relationships I think are the most important things. Those are the things I enjoy the most and treasure the most in my life. Give me an opportunity to spend time with family and friends, and I'm a very happy, happy camper at that point in time, more so than any possessions per se. That's one part of that is that it's the connection, it's the relationship. There's also the part about sharing. You know, years ago, one of the bishops in the ELCA, I think it was Bishop Hansen, made the point that only God could take a cross, an instrument of death, and literally lay it down and make it into a table where we could all gather together and share a meal together. I thought that was an interesting way, an interesting analogy related to the fact that we are meant to share with one another. We all seem to have an abundance of something, right? So, how do we share it? Whether that something is food, as we will see in the gospel this week, whether that abundance is money, whether that abundance is space within our home. Years ago, I went to Minot, North Dakota, doing flood relief. And I was just amazed at the number of people who were up the hill. Minot is in a valley, but then there's houses built up on top of the hill there. The number of people up on the top of the hill who had allowed perfect strangers from down in the valley to just bring their possessions and leave them in their garage or leave them in their basement just to save them from getting flooded away, and not even knowing each other, but they had extra space and they gave that extra space to people in need. Just leave it here, give me your phone number, we'll connect later. That was really cool. Maybe the things that you have an abundance of are your talents and your gifts that you can share in different ways. Or In the case of the church, our ability to welcome people from the community, like our community supper that is this Friday. All kinds of ways in which we can share our abundance with each other. And in doing so, we share our abundance with God as well. You see, we're not meant to just keep it stored up for us, for the future. We're meant to share it. We're meant to live in relationship and in connection with others and to share with others. That is where we experience spirituality at its best. That is where we experience the grace and love of God at its strongest, is in relationship and in sharing. And so when we read this gospel this week, remember, we're not meant to be sitting here hoarding everything. We're meant to be good stewards. And part of being good stewards is being able to share and relate. Wonderful parable this week that we have from Jesus. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Blessings to you all. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen.